You want me to help you with the couch quick?
All right, Grasshoppers. We lost one of our guys already, Jason there. He took off as soon as we get on, but our buddies, here he is, the Wolverine.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, buddy. Good. Mitch, how are you doing, Mitch?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. So just to be recap for everybody to make sure everybody knows who you guys are. You've been on before with me, but Mitch has got this company, Threads of Envy. He's an Army vet. Fantastic story about his father and his twin brother all joining the Army at the same time, coming back and opening this Threads of Envy. And it's a very cool company that I'm proud to be involved in. It's all centered around Vegas. All this stuff is made in Vegas, cool shirts and hats and everything. They've got a lot of charities that get involved in. And one of those, I guess we'll call you a charity. I don't know if it's charity or not, but a great cause by Jason here. Jason is famous for a lot of reasons. He retired from the Air Force. He's the twin, probably the better looking of the two between the Wolverine and him. And huge hockey fan, goes to all the Vegas games out there, and he's become probably more famous than a lot of the players out there. They've got him in all the commercials and everything. So these two guys are joining up together. Jason has just pulled together a bunch of guys, about 150 vets around the Vegas area. This Vegas Veterans Hockey. Great cause, and it's like I've learned that the hockey seems to be very therapeutic for a lot of the vets coming back, being on a team again, and dealing with a lot of whether it's PTD issues or all that kinds of stuff. So great to have you. Great to have you guys on board again.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, Tom. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. So you guys, I know we've talked separately before. You guys now have formed, kind of joined up a little bit together, where you're going to have a game that. Threads of Envy and Mitch Klein are getting involved in. Is that correct?
Yeah. So what we've done is, what Jason's doing is really true to me and close to my heart, as you know, with me being a veteran. And what his foundation is trying to do is not just raise awareness on the issues that veterans deal with on a daily basis, but do something about it, right? And what he's doing is he's getting our local veteran community and their families together, getting them around the game of hockey, kind of like you mentioned, where they get to feel that that teamwork again, and have something to do. This COVID deal is tough, right? A lot of these veterans who need to be surrounded with people are at home alone, and so his ability to get everyone together to feel good has been great. And I love what we're doing. So we created a hat around the iconic Envy snapback out here, which is real popular, and we collaborated, put his logo on the side, and veteran hockey on the back, and then the proceeds from those hat sales are going back to his foundation to help support his mission and get veterans around the game of ice hockey. So it's pretty cool. We had Alex Tuck who helped us market it and took some pictures. Chris Kale, Five Finger Death Punch, Derek England from the Golden Knights, William Carlson is going to be helping with this as well. So it's pretty cool.
Very cool. Yeah, I think I'm probably like a lot of people, right, where you really support the military and everything, but you're kind of naive about really what happens after veterans get out of the Army or Air Force or Marines or whatever. You just think, okay, to go back in society, and we're not realizing that. We were talking about it before we got in the air. I was really fortunate the other day. I had a couple of guys. They had this swim across the Hudson last year, and they've got it coming up again August 8th, and it's to raise money for homeless veterans in New York City. Wow. And I guess we're just, like I said, we're really naive, thinking everybody just comes back and then they get into the real world and they're fine. But there's so many homeless veterans, people in need of, like you said, just the whole team thing. I mean, so used to being part of a team and having people around them, where now they come back and it's just not there for them, right? So, Jason, I know you see that a lot with your hockey, with how much it helps those guys, those vets, correct?
It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, and we discussed that before. It's just that bond that they get again. Me and Mitch have chatted about this too. That transitional period where you take off that uniform one day, and and you're on a team, and you have a sense of what you're doing in life. And that next day when you wake up and you no longer have that uniform on, there is some pretty significant feelings that you go through, and trying to basically reestablish yourself. What is your purpose? And sometimes that period is so basically crucial for the success of veterans. If they can find themselves something to get involved in, other people to help support them and be with them to support them through that transition, we found out that the mental health of a veteran is so much better off when they have that support system. So yeah, with Mitch, and Threads, sponsoring us and basically giving us that ability to collect the funds, the donations, to get the ice time, to buy the equipment, and get guys during that transitional period to come out. Some, like we talked about before, some of these guys never put on a pair of skates in their life before, but they know that they're going to do that around other veterans.
You're in that category, Mitch?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel in that category.
It takes that kind of stigma away of, being afraid to try something different, because, who wants to learn how to play hockey at, an older age?
Yeah.
You kind of have that little reserved, well, maybe this isn't for me. But as soon as they get out and they're around a bunch of the guys, they start talking about, experiences they had, and then they get out on the ice and it transitions the same. And it's amazing. By the way, here are those hats that Mitch talked about.
Oh, yeah.
So you got this bad boy right there.
Yeah. Very cool.
With the Veteran Vegas Hockey Foundation. And then on the very back, you got the Veteran Hockey on the back. So
very cool.
Yeah. So Mitch created this, and we did it. And it basically, if I didn't pull up a picture, I should have. It matches our Vegas Veterans Hockey Foundation jerseys. So we have our home, and then basically the home. So we have the same gear on it,
right.
And the white for our jerseys that we're using.
Very cool. Very cool. It's funny to hear you talk about that with veterans. I know when I retired, it's the same way. Man, I was on a team my whole life, and I was playing with the Kings, and my career had come to an end. And I'll never forget leaving. It was Great Western Forum at the time. I was like almost scared, like shaking. Like I'd always been on a team, and for the first time in my life now, I wasn't going to be in a team anymore. And I was very fortunate, because I say fortunate because I had a young family at the time, and we didn't make enough money that I could just sit back and do nothing. So I had to get to work, and I started my agent business and got going. And I'm really fortunate that I had that, because I like you said, once I got going in the agent business, I said, it's almost like a relief. Like, okay, I know I'm going to be okay. I know I don't have a team anymore. I can do it on my own kind of mentality. And then you're kind of off and running at that point, and you still enjoy being around the guys. You're playing alumni games and everything. But as far as your own personal life, you can do it. And I can imagine the same way for the vets, right? They've always been part of their unit. And now all of a sudden it's like, okay, what am I going to do? Can I do it? Right? My identity of who I was is now gone. Well, that's probably not true, but the appearance, at least internally, that is your identity. You're much more than that, really, but you don't know that at the time, right?
Yep. Yeah. Mitch and I had lunch just a week ago, and we discussed how much training you go through in the military. You go through, it's constant training that you're getting prepared for. You're getting ready to go to war. You're starting off. You don't just jump right into it. So you have all this prepared training. And then when you have that time where your service commitment is over or you're retiring, they don't offer a whole lot of training to teach you how to go back and to be a civilian. They give you a week time period that they call, some transitional support, where you do meet with a couple of organizations and they talk about benefits and stuff like that. But that isn't what is mentally you need. It doesn't set you up for success outside of the military. It doesn't help you kind of find yourself or help you kind of prepare yourself mentally for that change. And it really is big for a lot of guys.
And just to use myself as an example, we're veteran-owned business. I'm a veteran, like we have mentioned, 8 years in the Army, and Threads of Envy keeps me busy. But when Jason asked me to come play hockey and be a part of this team, and I strapped up skates, for one of the first times about a month ago and hit the ice, man, it was something special, and it felt good. I was getting excited for ice time on the weekends, and that feeling of being part of a team again, it really meant something for me. And, to be able to see that and feel that personally, through this partnership is phenomenal. And it's what really, wanted me to be a part of it.
Good. So Jason, I want to make sure we do this as many times as possible. So if somebody wants to help either financially or any other way, they can get a hold of you where?
As we have our social media. So we're on Instagram under Vegas Veterans Hockey Foundation, Facebook, same thing, Vegas Veterans Hockey Foundation. We have our website, www.vvev.com. .vvhf foundation, and foundation is spelled out FOUNDATION, and that's .org.
Okay, perfect. And again, you've got to just for shits and giggles here, you've got to go follow Jason on Instagram with his pictures and everything too. So, what are you, VGK?
Yeah, VGK Wolverine. Yeah, on Instagram and Facebook.
That's the fun part. Yeah, VGK.
That's in case you just need in case you wake up in the morning and you're like, I feel terrible about myself. Well, open it up and be like, look at this clown.
I gotta tell you on a personal level why there's so many reasons I'm a big supporter of the military, obviously, and everything, but there's so many reasons I enjoy hanging around with the both you guys. Is I get the feeling that right off the bat that you guys live life all out, right? I mean, you've like if you're going to do something, if you're going to do like the Threads of Envy, you made a conscious decision to do something really special, right? It's a Las Vegas thing. You're made in Vegas, all Las Vegas. It's not just a company you created; it's a whole thing. And Jason, the way you live your life, both at a personal level, I see with your family, and the screaming and yelling at the Vegas Golden Knights games, living life all out. So I love that part of it. And especially right now, it's so tough. I think with people where all this stuff going on. We had a terrible weekend around here. We had a hockey coach, a high school hockey coach that took his own life. A 47-year-old guy, and a former teammate of mine who lost a son. He was murdered at up in Canada. So all this stuff is going on, and you think like this is nuts. So it's like, I mean, you got to be aware that stuff's going on, but you've got to. To me, it's like you've got to live like there's so much other good stuff going on too. And you got to keep living life. Like the stuff you guys are doing is fantastic. So I got to ask you guys. I'm probably going to put you on the spot here a little bit too. So we've got a lot of these, the protests going on and all this kinds of stuff. As two people that have gone over and fought for the freedoms that we all have. And again, I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but how do you feel? I mean, not trying to pick sides or whatever. When you see that kind of stuff happen, what goes through your mind?
Listen, I mean, you have the right to protest and gather peacefully. I mean, if we all have a voice, and I think that. You have the right to be heard, but in a peaceful manner. I think when we start, destroying our own towns and our own cities and our own blocks and hurting our own people, I don't agree with that. I think that that's when it's gone too far, and you're the voice that you want heard, kind of goes to the wayside because now they're focused on the damage you're creating. So. I do believe in, being able to protest, but in a peaceful manner.
Right. Yeah. What do you think, Jason?
100% with Mitch. That's exactly what, sometimes it's this two-edged sword where you have an internal feeling and then you have what the Constitution is and what you went over to defend. And 100%, I mean, the whole peaceful protest is exactly, what it's intended for. And I agree with Mitch. I think you lose a lot of the message once it turns into something violent. When you start, throwing Molotov cocktails and you lose the credibility of what you're there to establish. That's just my personal.
100%. Yeah,
I'm 100% up for if you need change. That's exactly what you did. Now, yeah, I've had a lot of people ask me about kneeling in the national anthem, and. That is a very personal thing that so many people have very drastic difference of opinions. And as somebody who doesn't necessarily get angry at it, because once again, that's what we fought for. We fought for that ability to have that right to be able to do that. Now I'll lead by example. I won't do it. I'll stand and be proud because that's just basically who I am. As an American who I feel a little differently, I'll basically represent myself and show that that's what you should do, but I would never look or be angry at somebody else for basically using that time for what they feel is right.
See, I agree. It's like you guys in particular, you have fought to give those people the right to live the life they want to live, and as long as they're not hurting somebody else, let them express themselves the way they want, right? I mean, like kneeling during that. I'm agree with you. I don't like the kneeling during the national anthem, but you know what? Guys like yourself have fought so that people have the right to do that, right? So we shouldn't deny that. It's the, like you guys are saying, to me, it's almost like cowardly almost to be physically violent here when people like yourselves have gone over and been physically violent because that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do to defend the country, right? So now to march on our own streets and hurt our own people, it's kind of like, That's kind of weird, yeah. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you got a game coming up here. Is there who we got there? Who's there? Who's your little assistant?
This is my daughter, Peyton.
Peyton, how are you doing?
Good.
Good. You know your dad's a hero, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Pretty good dad too.
My good daddy.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. I love that. So is there one special game coming up here that you guys got going on?
Well, we got obviously thanks to Threads, now jumping on and basically just helping the Veterans Hockey Foundation sponsoring us. The generosity is bought our ice time for August 9th. So yeah, it's we'll just have a standard pickup game, kind of welcome Threads to the family and thank them. And then from now on out, it'll just be continually trying to to gain and get the guys out there as often as possible. It is difficult right now with the COVID, and the restrictions, they're limiting the guys out on the ice time. Even just getting the ice time right now, it's changing the dynamics of how they clean in between, in between an hour session. Now they take an extra 15, during the scrape to, desanitize the entire arena, benches, boards, everything. So
are they going to let fans in the game?
Well, for us, it's just kind of no. We're just keeping the guys. We're not necessarily doing a. This is something that me and Mitch are chatting about. And actually, Lee, your buddy, I got to put a shout out to that guy. I had coffee with Lee Norwood last week, and what an outstanding individual! And so glad that I had the opportunity to meet with him because he is super involved with the alumni, with helping out veteran organizations and. We sat down and had breakfast, and we got to get him on because he was super excited about helping us basically grow and be able to. What he wants to do is basically have a charity game, and your name particularly came up that should definitely be on the airplane coming out here sometime.
It better be on that. Yeah, Lee. So everybody that doesn't know, Lee Norwood played way back when I did in the '80s. Played for I know he played for Detroit. I'm trying to think where else he played. He and I kept in touch. St. Louis. Yep. Yeah. We kept in touch more on social media, and when he saw that I had you guys on, he was really excited and wanted to get a hold of you. So that's great news. I'm glad that worked out.
Yeah, absolutely amazing coffee. And he's just a plethora of knowledge, and to be able to have the opportunity to sit across, him and kind of just pick his brain on, what he's gone through, how the game has evolved.
Yeah.
And then just his ability to just latch in and go, I really appreciate what you're doing because he kind of said the same thing. He knows that there's a huge transition where guys feel lost. And he's like, if you're doing one thing that's changing the dynamic of, cutting down awareness and bringing in action to stop, veteran suicide, he's like, I'm 100% in. Yeah, he's like, I want to do everything that I possibly can.
All right. So now
putting on maybe some big charity game coming out as things loosen up. We can get some flights over. Vegas kind of gets back to normal, hopefully by next year. So we have a little bit of time to plan something big out and have you out, Tom, and Lee, and create something great.
That'd be a blast. Yeah, we've played a lot of charity games. They really end up being great fundraisers, a lot of fun, drawing a lot of attention to your cause and all that kind of stuff too. So I'd be proud to be part of that. But so the really important stuff now, and we really got to get serious about this here. So what kind of a player is Mitch? Jason, like what's he got? What's his game like? Is he like a tough guy?
Mitch is all thrust and no vector. He is woof. He is
I'm still learning the stop thing. I'm trying to learn that.
I was just going to ask. Yes, don't worry about that. Just run in the boards. Run into
that's what I'm doing right now.
Well, the first thing Mitch says, he's like, "Well, that's what I got all this pad on, right? I just hit stuff. That's how I saw myself."
Well, if you saw me play, I had no skill. I had a lot of will, but no skill. So that's all you got. And so, Mitch, what is Jason's game like? I get the feeling he's kind of like a hot dog out there showing off all the time. Is that right?
Oh man, yeah. I mean, the first time this guy took me on the ice and just to help me with the skating piece. I mean, you can tell just a ton of talent. I mean, the way he just skates in general, it's smooth. He's smooth, and yeah.
I think that Mitch doesn't really have anybody else to compare that to, right? Honestly.
What's funny? When I retired from playing and I came back to this Greenwich, Connecticut area, in Stamford, Connecticut, Rye, New York, there was a bunch of men's leagues going on, and you know, these, and so I'm in my 40s, and these guys all were like, they'd have weekend tournaments like at St. Patrick's Day and stuff like that. And they're all trying to recruit me. Like they want me to run the power play. And I'm saying, guys, I played my whole life. I've never run a power play at all. Like, what do you think? Like, watch the game film. Like I'm terrible. And they think I was being humble and everything. And I go out and they expect me to be this like Bobby Orr or something out there, like stick handling around everybody. I go, guys, listen, I bang the puck off the boards and punch somebody in the head, and that's my game. Funny stuff.
So we're really excited to have Mitch out, you know, and it's exactly what we're looking at. You know, we're trying to get veterans that, you know, are interested in the game, you know, and right now, you know this, Tom, hockey, and Mitch can attest to this, hockey out here in Vegas is just blowing up.
Totally.
I mean, especially now, so now we got the AHL team who came out here. So now you got the Silver Knights. So, I mean, Vegas is just getting plastered with hockey. And, you know, the Raiders are here, but I got to be honest. I just think that the Knights are the Vegas team. It's just.
Well, you know, we talked about it before. We separately with the two guys where I watched that documentary Valiant. And I kind of knew I knew the story, obviously, but watching it in the documentary really put it all together and what the hockey team meant to the community, particularly right after the shooting there and everything, and how they kind of adopted each other, really. So it's good. It's good to see. It's probably something nobody would have ever expected, right? It's like I think a lot of people thought, like, Jesus, hockey even going to really survive? Well, it's not just survived; it's become part of the community there.
It's huge. Youth hockey has blown up out here. I mean, you're talking. Youth hockey in itself has been the biggest change. I mean, they're putting it into the schools. The Vegas Golden Knights are doing an amazing job of really integrating hockey outside of just the arena at T-Mobile by pushing it in. You know, these guys are going to the schools up in North Las Vegas. They've donated equipment. They're putting nets in there. They're really trying to get people to understand that, hey, we live in a desert, but there's still different ways to actually play the game and enjoy it and love it.
Big time.
You know, it's funny when you say that too, because I watched the press conference when they announced the new team in Seattle, right, with Seattle Kraken, and they really made. What do you think of that name first? What's the name?
I got to be honest. I actually like it.
Yeah,
I like it. I think they did a great job with their jersey colors.
Yes.
I like that it's, you know, a simple logo with just kind of the tentacle going through with the eye.
It's cool.
I think it's a marketing amazing. I think they did a great job. I'm excited.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised, right? I mean, sometimes when they come up with these new logos, it's almost like they tried too hard to make something really fancy or something. But that was, like I said, the color scheme was great. Well, Mitch, you're so are you really creative, Mitch? Like, who designs all your shirts and all that kind of stuff?
We do, yeah. Me and my partner.
Wow. So everybody, I got to make sure too. We pump so I'm a brand ambassador too, and I'm doing a bad job right now. But everybody, make sure that you've got to look, and I can wear the shirts as often as I can. But threadsofenvy.com, again, just so everybody understands, Mitch started this company. It's in Las Vegas, and the NV is for Nevada. It's all made right there in Las Vegas. They've got a lot of charities like the Vegas Veterans Hockey that they get involved in. And some really cool shirts too. Like I like wearing the shirts. I actually, the sleeves, I think it got a little bit tight on my arms. I don't know if that's because of the sleeves or my arms get bigger. I don't know what it is.
It's got to be your arms. It's
is that what it is?
Yeah. I mean, quality is a big thing for us. You know, we spend a little bit more money on the back end to have a better quality T-shirt, but you know, we wanted to be more than, you know, just the gear, just the clothes you put on. We wanted to be recognized as, you know, everything we do is quality. So down to
really is cool stuff. Like the design stuff is really cool. I got the one shirt with the is it the American flag and the hockey stick going through it? Is that how it is designed? That's cool.
Yeah, the old hockey stick. Yeah.
Good. So if everybody wants to get this gear, I love it. I wear it. I'll put some more on stuff and take some photos and post them. But it's threadsofenvy.com, and if you get it, if you want a discount, you can do Laidlaw 10 to get a 10% discount. So please do that as well. So Jason, one more time, I want to make sure everybody, if anybody, this is a great cause, so everybody totally understands. Jason has put together this Vegas of Veterans Hockey. Mitch with his company at Threads of Envy have partnered up with them, and they're helping all the veterans. Is it fair to say it's not just Vegas? I mean, it happens to be Vegas, but if other guys are there and want to come in for stuff, that's open to them, correct?
What's amazing is, we have an active duty formation through that. I actually have a liaison. I have an active duty liaison that basically reaches out to the board of directors, you know, with Vegas veterans, and he basically gives us the perspective on what's happening in the active duty side of Nellis, the National Guard base out here through the Guard. And we have active duty guys that are come on and play with us all the time. So it's not just veterans; it's actually active duty military guys. Through Nellis, have about 7 guys right now. We have one that's actually deployed right now. Johnny P, keep your head low, buddy. You're at that undisclosed location, and we did send you a package. And don't smash all those Twizzlers at one time, buddy.
That's cool.
Yeah, we want to make sure, and it's exactly what it is it's a family out here. It's all encompassing.
Right.
It's a great talk. Threads, basic.
Sorry, Jason, go ahead. I'm stopping on you there. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just piggyback on what Mitch is trying to go was what he says, and why this is so important for us too. Is Threads is not just, like you said, it's not just a clothing brand. What Mitch is being very humble about is how much Threads of Envy is involved in the community. They're with the Cancer Society. They're always giving back with Derek England's foundation, Heroes for the Vegas area. They're always doing something charity organized. And so when Mitch came to us and we talked, it was just the perfect fit, because that's exactly what the Vegas Veterans Foundation is about too. It's not about just getting guys out on the ice or getting guys together to help, with the mental stressors of transitioning and being, away from the military life. But it's also to give them that sense that there's still community things that need to be done, and they can still have that sense of giving back. So we also pride ourselves in being a big community organization as well, like working with Shade Tree out here in Vegas, the Child in Adoption Center out here. So we always want to make sure that we continue to give back as well. And so having Mitch's company Threads that does that, and us partner together, it's just, it was a perfect match. So we couldn't be any happier to have that.
Okay. All right. So one more time, so everybody knows how they can get involved. Obviously, great job, Jason, describing the connection between your two things. Threadsofenvy.com. You can buy all the stuff. You can see all the charities and everything you're involved in. And again, if you want to purchase stuff, you can do Laidlaw 10 for a discount code. And Jason, go at it one more time where everybody can get a hold of you for the Vegas Veterans Hockey. And again, it doesn't have to be just some donation. It could be other things you can help with. Jason, fire away where they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, we had from the last podcast, we had a couple of guys reach out and they're interested. They had some family members that were out here in Vegas or something like that. And that's exactly what we want to do. We just want to get people to understand that this is available for them out here. So we're on social media, Instagram, Facebook, on just Vegas Veterans Hockey Foundation. And then our website, www.vvhf, and then it's foundation spelled out, foundation.org.
Good. And for a lot of fun, if you want to go to Instagram, you go to VGK Wolverine to see this wild man constantly screaming and yelling and everything. So you guys kept yourself great.
Yeah.
We should have some kind of a fitness contest or something going on too, right?
I don't want to go up against you, Tom, because I'm not sure I could keep up, buddy.
Yeah.
You were up at 4 o'clock.
I've seen your videos and pictures. I'm going to pass.
I take the camera. I get the good camera angle. I don't take any bad pictures. If I get a bad picture, I throw it away. So just always do it.
Yeah, I saw you. Was it yesterday morning, Sunday morning? You had your bungee cord strapped to the side of your door, standing on a balance board, just throwing out back pulls like there was no tomorrow. I mean,
what's funny? I wish I knew all the stuff. Like everybody says that, but I wish I knew all the stuff I know now about training, and diet, and everything back when I played. The balance board and Bosu ball are one of the best things I've ever done. I pretty much all my exercises on that now. And I had a bad back before and everything, but my core is totally tightened up now. It's taken all the back pain away and everything. And it's I think it's more of a mission now too. I'm 62 and I'm just not giving in, right? So there's no I won't even say to somebody that's not bad for a 62-year-old. Those words, they cannot come out of my mouth. It's not happening. So we're getting better every day.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with it.
Let's plan on getting Lee Norwood on next week. We'll have another podcast here and keep pumping this stuff out. All right. Yeah,
that'd be awesome. I'd love to have Lee. He was great. So yeah, absolutely.
I'll reach out to him. We'll get it done. Great job, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you, everybody.